Well, hello and welcome. Today I bring you another magnifier. This one, an EOTECH G30. I've been on a bit of a magnifier kick ever since Alex sent in his HMX3X from HoloSun. That thing really opened my eyes to just exactly how capable a good magnifier and red dot can be on basically any sort of rifle. My appreciation for magnifiers is even further reinforced with the introduction of the Primary Arms Long Eye Relief 3X into my life. I'm going to keep that there for reference. I sadly don't have the HMX 3X on hand anymore. That unfortunately had to go back to its rightful owner, Alex. But for $200, that thing is incredibly, incredibly hard to beat. So when this thing comes in at its standard price of, $300, makes you wonder how much better this thing is going to be. Because one would assume that for something that's 50% more expensive than something that's already great, that this thing should be greater. Greater? Greater. There you go. Let's start off with the box, shall we? And right off the bat, there isn't a whole lot to it. The only thing that really strikes me as ironic is it's made in China. This is $300, made in China, probably similar factory to something like the HMX3X, which is $200, or something like this, which is $100, and it's $300. This might be a case in point of what a name will buy you. Or maybe I'm completely wrong. This is all the information that is given. Not a whole lot to it. This being a magnifier, there's only a couple of things to really adjust. They're super simple, easy to set up and to operate. And let's see if this one is any different. There you have it. Cleaning cloth and a sticker at the bottom. I'm not even going to bother pulling that stuff out. I want to start where I always start, the fast focus eyepiece at the rear. This one, you can hear, has a lot of noise to it. Very fine threads and not a lot of adjustability. Super, super, super fine threads, as you can see. There's no reason for this to be that fine. But let's get it all the way out, shall we? In a little bit and give it some wiggle. There is definitely some wiggle up and down. Side to side is definitely a little bit tighter, but there is a little bit of wiggle in there. That's basically it. The only other two adjustments that we have are your elevation and your windage. Instead, what it's going to do is take your red dot and move it throughout the viewport in here. It's not going to change your zero. It's only going to change where the reticle comes up when you're looking through this. And for that, you have your up and down and your left and right adjustment, or elevation and windage. But I got a question. Who needs quick adjust turrets on a magnifier? I don't. Do you? If you do, I want you to tell me in the comments, because I really want to know why they opted to do this, where every other magnifier I've got my hands on is either capped and or flush mounted, where they're going to be out of the way and not accidentally adjusted. Because with this, there's a major flaw. These have zero detent, and they have these gigantic knobs. So when you're rubbing your finger against it or you're putting it inside of a range bag, it adjusts all the time. Listen, there's nothing there. And these are super easy to turn. They don't require any effort whatsoever. So you might put this down, you might put it in or out of your bag, and you're going to be adjusting your zero. What? Why? I don't understand. Please tell me. Please tell me why you need this in your life. Are you constantly taking this on and off and putting it on behind different red dots? I want to know why. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Something like this, it should be you set it and forget it. And if you have it, whether in a quick release mount like this or a tilt away mount, your zero is not going to change. So why do you need the quick adjustability of something like this? And then have these knobs be gigantic so you easily adjust it, of course. But then you have no detent in there. This is $110. This is like $110, I think, and this even has a detent in it. So this way, this doesn't accidentally get turned under recoil. Woosah. Woosah. Okay. All right. These are weird. I get that. But maybe the mount is really good. Well, you got a locking tab over here, which you have to disengage or slide forward to disengage the actual cam. And that's all fine and dandy. Now, you could see it's moving this area over here. We have the cross bolt, and we have this really rather large and funky looking adapter. And this is how you adjust the tension when this cam is fully locked on your rail. Not all rails are the same width or to the same tolerance. It's just the way it is. So most manufacturers put an adjuster over here to tweak it perfectly for your rail, which is fantastic. I love that. But this is a weird one. You see these little grooves over here? Let's disengage this. If you press this up, there we go. You have to spin this around and then it goes on that pin to lock in. If I can get a better picture. Okay, there you go. I want you to really witness this. The pin is spring loaded on this piece. And if you were to get this up and out of the way, you can lock this pin back. I just don't understand why it has to be so complicated. How come a company like, I don't know, Midwest Industries with this mount have something so simple and elegant and easy where it's just, okay, we're going to turn it and we're going to lock it in place. And okay, you're done. Or the same thing with American Defense. I don't get it. You know what? Maybe the image quality on this thing is so good, it's going to make me forget about all the imperfections. So let's take a look.
Alright, let's hope that at least the image quality on this thing outperforms everything else about it. And you know what? Here on this nice sunny day, the image quality does look pretty good. You can see the telephone pole in the foreground about 35 yards, the tree line at about 120 or so, and then the brick building at about 400. And you know what? Everything seems to be fairly well in focus and sharp. So, good. Great. Is it good enough to counteract all of its negatives? I don't know, but let's put a red dot in front of it. We start out with my Vortex Strike Fire 2, which granted is a little bit lower than the Magnifier, but it was the same thing with the HMX3X, and that seemed to look through it fine. What about my Gold Dot 512 Holosun? Well, these should line up a lot better than this, and yet you see a lot of the scope body in front of the Magnifier. Alright, well, see, the dot's not perfectly centered. Why don't we adjust the height on that thing a little bit and see what it does? Well, you know what? Even though this is only an unboxing, I'm going to give you some sneak peeks. It never really looks great. The exit pupil on this thing is all over the place. It's just, it hurts my brain to think about, especially for the price. But I got this a while ago, and they don't seem to be available that much anymore, and good reason why. So take it for what it's worth with this unboxing. Full review coming out very soon, where I want to put it head-to-head with the HMX3X. Thank you very much for watching. See you again next time.
And a very huge thank you to all of my Patreon providers. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. If you'd like to help support the channel but don't want to join my Patreon, I completely understand. But you can still help support by using my affiliate links in the description below. Thanks again for watching.